Traders, I hope you are well. In this particular video, we're going to be discussing how I get set up for the week. We're going to be going over two markets, and yeah, we're just going to take a look inside what I look at, how I plan out my trades or how I plan out my zones for the week. Now, this is really not rocket science when it comes to planning out my week, because I don't have any say in how the market operates once it reaches a zone. It's all alerts, and everything that I do relies on the event chain. So yes, I may have a zone planned out, but not necessarily the market itself will adapt to that zone and do what I would like it to do at that particular point. So all it's about is setting up these kind of like fuzzy zones, our supply or demand zones at daily levels or whatever level that you're trading at, and then just waiting for the market to reach that particular zone, then having the zones in our event chain broken until it hopefully gets to our trigger event, and then we're away. So simply, let's just take a look at gold. Now, I've deleted all the lines previously that I had on here, but I'll put them back in now just to show you what I was looking at previously. So let's just put this in here at gold for this supply, and we have that here. Mark that as red. Let's make that solid. Okay, so let's just bring this over here now. Now we have a zone on top of a zone on top of a zone over here. So let's just mark that all in. And we have that here. And let's get the final one in here. Okay, so now looking at gold, let's see what we've got in terms of supply levels to play with. Go on here. Got one that's already been activated here. Okay, so now we kind of have an idea of where we are at. So what have we got? We've got lower lows coming up here, lower highs, and so forth. So at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know, and we don't have an assumption. We wait for our zones to be hit. So, I mean, potentially there was an angle here on gold, which I noticed, but I completely missed it. So let me get rid of this line just to make it a little bit clearer for you. So we've got a mini engulfing here. Let's make this like that. You can see that the market's come into it here. Then we have the area what we want broken, which is here. And guys, look, I mean, there's a few levels here. The reason why I'm looking at this one and not this one right now is because this low was broken over here, right? by this zone up here and created a lower low. So now I'm looking from this potential event 2 to be broken rather than this potential event 2 to be broken. All right. So if we look now very clearly, this is the zone here that broke this event 2. So we wrap some lines around it. And as we can see, the market proceeded to come into it and then a massive pop out for around, what is this, 73, so around 10 points in gold. I've noticed that in other markets, or depending on what platform you're trading on, this wouldn't be 10 points. It'll be more like 100 points. So I don't even know. It's weird. I see like people betting, like making a ton of money off gold, but getting tons of points. But on my platform, on my trading platform, this is just an equivalent of 10 points. But gold, but you can go like, you can really do like, you know, like 20, 30, 40, 50, £100 per pip. Well, you used to be able to until they fucking increase their percentages. But anyway, that's for another story, for another time. So that was the potential there on gold. Now, if we go back to the daily, right, and we said to ourselves, okay, so let's say we're thinking now, right now, we think, okay, this maybe could have the potential to go to the upside, right? Let's just go back. Let's just remove these so it's clear. Let's go back to the daily. Now, another kind of like this would be like a real hit and hope, right? But we're still going to do everything in conjunction with the event chain, right? So we could potentially now wrap some lines around this. Wait for the market to come back into it, and then look for an event 2. Once the market dips back into this area here, look for event 2 around here to get broken, and then the trigger event will be somewhere around here. Okay, this is just me adapting to the market situation. If I feel that I've missed the initial move, but I may not have missed it because it could come back down, or it may not. It may just push straight through. In either case, you know, I don't lose any money, because if it does, well, I could lose, don't get me wrong, but either case, if it does push back down, then I haven't lost anything, because it hasn't even done a broken event 2 in the event chain. But if it does come back down to this level, it does break event 2 in the event chain and then come back down to the third event for the trigger, then I play it, right? And then we see that we do have profit potential here with all red candles all the way up to this level here. Let me draw that properly. That actually hasn't been touched yet. But yes, it does look like it's out of our time frame. Let's have a look. Also, it's exactly 30 days right now. Okay, it's exactly 30 days. But if this did move up there within the next few days, I would definitely see if there is a potential for the market to push back down, right? And what I would do if that did happen, I would hedge the position, which means that if this market did push all the way up to this supply zone on the daily, okay, I would take off 80% of the profit off that trade, and I'll be looking for an event 2 to get broken to the downside. Okay, so I'll be looking for demand on event 2 to get broken, and then the trigger event at supply, and then come back down and then see what happens. And if the market did come back down here again, I would take off another 80% and then just leave the trade. And obviously it would take me out of my other trade. Now, where would it take me out of my trade to the upside? That depends on where I want to place my stop loss. I could leave my stop loss way at the bottom here. I could bring my stop loss up here to like 50% of the trade, to where I could come out with another 50%, or I could push it further to the top. Pushing it further to the top doesn't really make sense, because we know there's probably going to be some sort of a bounce. So if we left it a little bit further out and then, it pushed through, at least we don't lose any money if we're trying to the downside because it hasn't broken event 2 on demand from that particular supply, right? So that is how I would be looking to trade gold right now. And if it does come back down, then it comes straight back down and we have to look at the market in a different way, right? And take it from a different perspective. So that is my outlook on gold, which is no outlook at all, because we can't start using our assumptions and our biases because we think the market's going down now. That's how everybody gets caught out. Everybody gets caught out in downtrend. It's going down, it's going down. The market has to continue going down. Then everybody's going down. And then that's when the market makers come in, flip this shit around and take out all your stops. All right. Which fuel their move up or could fuel their move down. Just depends on what they want to do, right? It's not up to us. It's entirely up to them. And all we're doing is looking for clues and the traces that they're leaving behind to allow us to jump in to what they've already planned. So let's move on to another market. And don't forget, guys, to check out the courses below from my mind coach, Rich Friesen, basically on achieving a master trader's mindset, which I believe personally is the key to this whole thing. Now, if you're a straight beginner, if you're new to this, or you've just maybe opened up an account or something like this, I believe guided visualizations for traders is where everyone should begin. It's not a magic bullet, but it definitely helps build new mindset building blocks, and it has results that you can measure. For the other two courses like Mind Metrics and Compass, if you're interested in those are a bit more expensive. Just give me a holler, drop me an email or something. We can have a chat about that. And then maybe I can take you into in the back end and show you what's included. So let's go on to the pound yen. Okay, so here we are on pound yen, and this has been making some moves, and I am so pissed. I have missed out on a stonker of a move from this zone right here. It has been savage the way this has made a move, and I haven't been in it. But that's it. I'm not going to try and jump in it without doing my due diligence and using the supply and demand event chain to actually do that. Hold on. Oh, it's the color. So let's just make that red. Okay, so let me draw in some lines. Let me just see what's going on here. So boom, we've got this here. Let's make that red. We've got this up here. Make that solid. All right, now let's have a look at where we are. So we can see already that this has been broken, which was the zone that took the market to the upside. So we can just discount this. We can just take this out fully. No longer interested in that. What I am interested in is this. So let's just zoom in here. So I'm interested in this engulfing here, number one. And I'm also interested in this. Should I break that up? Nah, it's not. Let's call that a zone on top of a zone. I'm interested in this level here. And this is my stop. Well, it's not exactly where I would place my stop, because obviously once event 2 occurs and event 2 is broken, we're looking for event 3 for that trigger event, and that's on the hourly zone, right? Let me just make that solid. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the right again, so we can see immediately that the market has driven into this zone really nicely. Now, with this big ass wick sticking out here, I'm not about to go and call this, you know, an area that could possibly prevent it from moving up. No way in hell. I mean, I think it would easily push past that, to be honest with you. So I'm not too fussed about that. But now we have to wait. So let's go down into the hourly zone. So we can see that over here, it's pushed in. This level here, it's not been broken. This low has been passed, but this area here has not been broken. And this is where we are. We have nothing that is going to alert us and say, oh wow, you know, there's a potential there to the upside, because there isn't. Every single zone so far that we need broken in the event 2 has held, right, since the market has dipped into the market at this area here. Okay, so that has held, and this has held. That broke that. Markets come back into there, perfectly bounced out. So at the moment, we are in limbo for the pound yen, right? And all I'm going to be doing is doing this, as you can see here. I'm just going to be watching it. I'm going to leave these exactly where they are. I'm going to set alerts at the lowest one. So I'm going to set an alert here at 139.563. And if that gets broken, then I'm going to potentially looking for that trigger event for event 3. But then, you know, the market could continue to go down. And then what I'm going to do is look for what breaks this low. And the zone that breaks that, wrap some lines around it. Okay. And then that's going to be the next event 2 zone to get broken. All right. And all we can do now is simply sit and wait on the pound yen to break event 2 in our supply and demand event chain, and that's it. Okay, and as long as you're doing this with the markets that you're trading, you know, then there isn't much else to do. You find your zones, you set your alerts, you wait for those alerts to happen, and then you go in and look for your trigger event, but then make sure that that event 2 zone has actually been broken with strength and efficiency and not just peaked over it, because in my eyes, that's not really a solid break. Okay, so it needs to be broken with conviction. And all we have to do now for the pound yen is simply wait, let it tell us what it's doing by it breaking the event 2 in our chain of events. And then we're just going to be looking for event 3 for the demand to then take this market to the upside. So it's not some big thing, guys, when it comes to just planning out your week. Obviously, I'm only looking at around 3 or 4 markets. You may be looking at more, which means more alerts, which means you're going to have to be more alert, because some alerts could all be going off at the same time, depending on if certain news events come out or something like this. It could start triggering events all over the place, which means you're just going to have to be very conservative with what trades that you actually take. You want to be looking for the easiest setups, the ones that are super, super clear to you, and then you just want to execute on them every single time. Do not doubt it. Don't worry about it. Don't do anything outside of your particular strategy that you have created for yourself from what I've been showing you here. Just stick to your plan, okay? And then do nothing else and just let it play out. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a really, really simple one, but this is exactly how I keep it. It doesn't get more convoluted than this. Just keep things as simple as possible. And I think that this is what it's really, truly doing for me. Just allowing me to keep things really, really simple. Now, again, guys, There's some links at the bottom of this video. My mind coach, Rich Friesen, who is a veteran in the markets, was a trader on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, had his own fund, basically got into teaching traders how to get their mindset right, with the big money traders, because it's not about the external goals that you set for yourself, whether that be, I want a new car, or I want to get this, or I want to get that, or, it's all about the internal goals that you set for yourself. How well do I follow my process? Did I stick to my plan this week? No. Why didn't I stick to my plan? What can I do to prevent that happening again? And then what can I do next time to be more efficient in sticking to my plan and sticking to the process? And I believe the guided visualizations, guys, is the beginner level, just to get your head right, in tune, to help you bypass your conscious noise and hit that subconscious point in your mind, so you can basically go through all of your trades, all of what you're preparing for yourself in the right headspace. So make sure you check that out, and I'll be back with another video very soon.